Ah, the good old Audi A8. There's just something wildly satisfying in the fact that I could buy a car that, adjusted for inflation, would cost as much new as a Porsche Taycan does right now, and I got it for 3,000 US dollars. It does help me forget that my hairline's receding, that I'm gaining weight way too easy, and that my wife doesn't let me spend all my money on project cars. There is just so many great things about this boat. It's powerful, it's elegant, it's beautiful, comfortable as a cloud, and the design is, well, for the most part anyway, timeless. There's actually only two things that I really dislike in my A8. The first one is the old cluster that kind of looks like a hand-me-down from a first generation color Siemens phone. I would replace it, but I'm not really a fan of having to code a new cluster. But there is something that's a stupidly quick fix for this dated interior. So let's turn this into this. Let me show you how I did it. We are going to start by stripping all the trim panels. Pretty much the only non-household tool that you need is a trim remover set. I linked one in the description. We're doing 4 pieces of door trim. They will come off pretty easy. Pause the video if you need to see where exactly the clips are located. Next up, we'll move on to the dashboard. But before you start pulling out the chrome trim, you want to make sure that the credit card drawer's cover is off. It should just slide off towards the left. Now we're ready to unclip the long silver trim. Not much in terms of instructions here, but throughout this whole process, just be firm and gentle. This old girl has bits that break very easy. Next up are the vents. Well, this is a job you might want to drink after, so now is a great time to put something in the fridge. It is also very important to like the video and subscribe to my channel. You'll see 2 plastic hooks that spring up if you make them, but there's one on each side of every vent. You'll need to make sure you're pulling both clips up, all the while somehow pulling the vent out towards you. Well, by the time you're done, your beverage might just be cold enough. With the vents out of the way, there's a few Torx T20 screws that secure the wood trim. If you need a set, I put one in the description for you. The credit card drawer is secured by these 2 clips. It will pull straight out. Once you've unclipped the vent cables, the trim is finally free. Almost there. To be able to pull the trim around the cluster, you'll probably have to move the steering column. And also undo 2 cable connectors before you can set it free. The center console is going to be very tricky. First you pull the ashtray straight out, undo that one screw in the back holding the cigarette lighter module. And this next bit can be very dangerous. I can't stress that enough. Please use caution. Chuck your wheels if you have to, since some of the things we're trying to pull won't come off with the shifter in park. You'll have to move the shifter to drive or sport mode to have enough room to navigate the modules out. At this point, I'd say use the actual key for ignition, because once we undo the cable connections to the center console, the engine stop button will no longer work. Once you got rid of the module, please remember to put your shifter back in park. Now there are two ways to go about the actual color change. I tried wrapping the pieces in vinyl. Most of them turned out pretty good, but even with the help of an outstanding guide, and I'll put his video in the description, I had to realize I suck at wrapping, especially on the more complicated bits. A huge pro, if you decide to go with anything else other than piano black, there's vinyl for any kind of color or material you can think of. I'm only asking one thing, for the love of God, please don't do carbon fiber, you're not 5 anymore. In the end, I decided to do an enamel spray paint for some modules. The advantage is that you don't have to have Yngwie Malmsteen's dexterity. The downside is, I think, that the vinyl wrap still looks a bit better if you can do it right. Do you think this transformation is worth the effort? Do you have a special design in mind for your car? Let me know in the comments. PSA, these videos take forever to make and wifey doesn't let me spend too much on the car, so please help a brother out, like, share and subscribe. Put in an eBay order through my links, or if you want to go the extra mile, buy me a beer on Patreon. I'm always looking for new content to share with you guys. Thanks for watching and stay excellent.